freedom of the press does not mean that you have the license to insult. The media needs to consciously look at the sensitivities of various cultural and ethnic divides and use its own discretion in terms of reporting and be slightly more careful and sensitive. My name is Shobna Bhartiya. I'm the Vice Chairperson and Editorial Director of the Hindustan Times, which is one of India's largest media groups. I'm also a member of the Parliament, of the upper house of the Indian Parliament. When one is talking about the alliance of civilizations, I think to some extent I bring with me some practical experiences of how we've dealt with it in our country, where we have the world's second largest Muslim population and we have many other minority groups living together. There was a time when there was much more like a melting pot approach, with everybody coming together with their various cultures, and it was part of a large melting pot. But that model is no longer applicable, and the world needs to respect and be able to assimilate people with their own backgrounds, with their own identities, and yet they need to come and they need to learn to live together. One needs to go far deeper into what's really happening. Why is the youth feeling alienated? Why is the youth, in many societies part of the periphery, especially when you talk about the immigrant youth? What is it that is not making them part of the mainstream? What is it that's making them actually cling on to dual identities, the country in which they've grown up where they're immigrants, but equally anchoring back to their home country? The first thing media has to understand at a very subtle level that there can be no alliance of civilizations unless there's a certain civilizational correctness. And the entire aspect of civilizational correctness is not what I or you believe, but what each group believes to be sensitive to them, what each group believes is an area which is culturally an area which you cannot transgress. Media organizations need to be better oriented into understanding the cultures and the sensitivities of various religious groups and various ethnic groups. It is a very complex topic. Where do you draw the line between your right and the freedom that you enjoy and the responsibility that comes with it? Because more the freedom, the more the responsibility that lies on the person to exercise that right in a judicious manner. There is this hunger for a more balanced view. And to that extent, I think media organizations, especially the global ones, need to be oriented towards getting to know enough about other cultures and other groups as well. First thing that I try and do as a publisher is to always carry multiple opinions. And therefore, even in the case of the cartoons, for instance, we've had our share of uprisings like the rest of the world has seen. But we have tried to balance those with other saner voices, or voices of Muslims who have condemned the violence that has followed the publication of the cartoons. So to have a sense of outrage because the cartoons are published might be justified, but to use violence as a means of protest is something that people don't want. The media can look at a self-regulatory code of conduct, more so when it's reporting in war zones, more so when it's reporting on culturally sensitive issues, where it's a little careful about resorting to stereotyping, because with one sentence we tend to sort of engulf an entire community, an entire religion. So this negative stereotyping is something which subconsciously now has started finding its way in the way in which we actually talk about people. I think some kind of a dialogue between the Western press and Al Jazeera and some of the press from Asia would be a great idea, because I think there needs to be a forum to get the entire press together so they can share their concerns, they can share their experiences and sort of expose them to the way the others are working and their thought processes as well. And that's again where UN can play a role. I have already started getting at a very subtle level influenced by the deliberations of the high-level group. When the idea was first mooted by the Secretary General, I thought it was a very courageous idea, for the simple reason that there have been many such other associations, bodies, groups looking at similar sort of issues. But what really struck me as being very appealing was the fact that the Secretary General was looking for practicable ideas, simple solutions which were doable, simple solutions that could be implemented in a multicultural kind of a perspective, as opposed to coming up with just lofty statements. We hope to come out with even short-term solutions, simple, interesting things, simple, innovative means where you can bring together people from various backgrounds, whether it's involvement in sports, whether it's involvement in music, arts, culture, but various means and ways of actually trying to bridge this gap and trying to reduce the chasm between the various societies.